You can talk to Shani anytime. It doesn't matter day or night. Shani, giving you light and love. We're coming on without a doubt. There's nothing you can't talk about. Shani, get ready to start the show. Shani, and you know we're gonna talk. Ordinary people and extraordinary God. Check the reference in Ephesians 5. We walking in the light and we're living in love. You know what, Shani, we gon' keep it intact. Cause every Monday got it coming. Yeah, we coming right back. So act like you know we get it on and poppin' at the Shani Show. You can talk to Shani anytime. It doesn't matter day or night. Shani, we're giving you light and love. We're coming on without a doubt. There's nothing you can't talk about with Shani.
Welcome to another episode. The song wants to replay. The song wants to replay. Y'all hear that? Let me stop it. It's always something. It is not the technical difficulties. It's me. It's me, and it's the fact that I try to be all things to the show. Welcome to another episode of the Sharing with Shani Show. I'm your host, Shani McElwain. I have my co-host, the Wellness Whisperer, in the house, in the building, in her building, Mika Fresh, and we have our special guest, Nicole Muhammad. How you doing today, Mika?
I'm okay. I'm tired, but I'm okay.
Good. Well,
How are you?
I'm glad that you're okay, and I hope you get rest, because rest. Hey, do you follow this? Do you follow the Nap Ministry on Instagram? You have to follow them.
Talking about rest, like NAT.
No, NAP.
NAP.
Yes, and I can't remember her name, but the founder of it she calls herself the Nap Bishop. You have to follow.
Okay.
Her. Yes, talks about rest, and I know because
I found it. Okay.
Yes.
You said nap, like sleep.
Yes.
Like take a nap. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said nap.
Liberation will be there.
Yes.
Like we think that like, oh, I can't, we're accustomed. Well, I'm not going to speak for y'all, but I know for myself, I need to get A through Z done and then I can rest. Okay. And like she kind of tells you, no, you can rest at D, pick up where you left off, go through E through J, pick up where you left. Like that makes you more productive and more so.
The push to complete tasks is utterly, amazingly ridiculous.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Horrible.
Absolutely.
Bad habits.
But other than that, you're okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Did you have a good weekend?
The weekend was easy, I guess. It's weird because it's like, I don't remember what happened on Saturday. I don't remember what happened on Saturday. That usually is not the case, but because, well, yeah, I know why I don't remember. I'm so used to being busy. I made it a point to not be busy. I wanted to rest because I have, a couple of deadlines, and I was like, I just need to hoard all the rest that I can. And so maybe that's why it was like uneventful. I didn't do anything but lay around and maybe like a little bit of cleaning. And Sunday was a blur because we were in the car just running a whole lot of errands. And Halo has swim lessons on Sunday, like right smack dead in the middle of the day. It makes it a little bit challenging to, do the things that we need to do in the most time efficient way. But so we did a little backtracking. You go here, go south, go north, just to come back south to go north again.
Right.
Come back
right.
south to come home.
I do not miss those days.
I love the fact that Halo has swim lessons because I took swim lessons. My mother couldn't swim. My mother was afraid of water.
Okay.
And she was like, I'm not, and I was born in California. Okay. Everybody went to the beach, right? Everybody had a pool in their backyard. Right. So she was not even playing. Like I was in swim lessons at 2.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so my husband cannot swim, and being from the segregated South, there are a lot of issues behind that.
Right.
But my whole family can swim. It's really weird. I'm from North New Jersey. We ain't got swimming pools in the backyard, but we got that good old YMCA.
Yes.
And my mom was a lifeguard. So
nice.
She has pictures of me, I'm 6-7 months in the pool with her. So I don't remember a time, where I did not know how to swim, and all of my siblings can swim. And with Halo, my mom tried to do the same thing with her, is she was just like, yeah, no, I'm different. Y'all gonna have to try a little bit different. And what's funny is she'll do like one little thing in the water and swear she could swim. She'd be like, I can swim now. She's been doing that since she was like 3. But because she absolutely loves the water, we did have this kind of scary thing where she just decided she was going to jump in a pool after her favorite toy rolled in there. And I was just like, okay, no, we need swim lessons. That can never happen again.
Right, right.
My mom had to jump in the pool with all her clothes on, like, Lord, save my grandbaby. She was babysitting. Yeah. So my mom was just like, nope, she has no fear whatsoever of this water. And, that's not necessarily always a good thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's finally got to the point where she can freestyle. So nice. It's exciting to watch it all happen.
Right.
Because I have no recollection of learning that. I think it just came a little more naturally. Yeah. It's all good. We're all different.
So you were running errands yesterday.
Too many. I was completing my my acts of love yesterday.
Oh,
that's what I was doing.
I was eating my acts of love. I got these bomb chocolate covered strawberries.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They were so good, and I ate all of them. Like it was at least 18 of them. Like
okay, it's strawberries. That's not horrible.
I didn't eat all of them by myself though. I did share, but they had their own too. I just didn't understand why they wanted one. Because the mother's strawberries are so much better.
The who?
The mother's strawberry, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't want to eat my food. I want to eat your food.
And it could be like the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, what is that? Halo introduced me to that, and I was just like, you have a plate. And so something y'all might not know about me is that I don't share food well. I'm not ashamed. Judge your mama.
I was about to say, I don't share mid well, but go ahead.
That either. But I don't share my food well. My husband can't stand it. My child can't stand it. And listen, I offered you your own. Why you want to nibble over here on mine? Right. And I have this whole mental thing too. Like I definitely cannot share the last bit of something because I didn't adjust my saliva and all that. When I looked at my plate, there's this calculation of how much is left. It's a whole weird thing. I swear I'm a weirdo. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I've gotten used to it. But like, don't take the last. Please don't take the last.
So
it doesn't work.
So that theory, do you watch a lot of cinema? Do you watch movies?
Yeah, I love movies.
I mean, okay, so do you remember the movie Brothers? The Brothers?
I do.
Yes.
Okay, right. And so the little theory in there, like if the man shares his last piece of chicken,
right,
that's love.
Right.
That doesn't apply to you.
It would. If I shared it, is because I absolutely love it.
Okay.
Right. It would be. I did that. I got the man. I don't have to do it anymore.
No more.
Right.
No more. Like, don't test me in that way, please.
Right. Because that's not the whole picture.
Right. I had a child for you.
Talking
That's
about
the
sharing.
ultimate test.
You want to know what I don't like and share? Like with people who like when you order appetizers at the table, right? And they think that they eat the appetizer like it's an entree, like it's their particular entree, like it's not for the table. I don't like.
Oh, so
like redipping.
Yes, redipping. But like,
so is there
like
a conversation that happens though? I feel like a conversation has to happen. Like, listen, we gonna order these appetizers. Are we sharing,
right?
Or is it just for you? If we are sharing, hey, I don't.
Yeah.
Don't do none of that.
Right.
Don't double dip. That's why they give you plates, you know.
Yes.
Don't grab with your hands.
Yes.
Here's the silverware.
You should take the food, put it on your little
plate.
Appetizer plate, right?
Yes.
Take the spoon, take your sauce, put it on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can
ask for your own sauce.
You can ask for your own sauce. That's all I'm asking.
I always ask for my own sauce because I'm kind of a sauce hog. Yeah.
I'm definitely. Yeah, I know. Sauce hogs.
I promise I'm fun. Right. I'm a fun date.
Okay, what about sharing popcorn with a date?
I don't like popcorn, so that's easy.
You don't like popcorn? What?
I know.
Nicole, what about you? Like,
the older that I'm getting, I'm having a problem with popcorn because for some reason I don't know why the kernels didn't get stuck in my gums before, but for some reason, I don't know right? The space between my teeth and the bigger. But
yeah,
that is
the whole issue.
Yeah,
I don't like that. The little shell off the kernel and it goes in weird places.
Yeah, I
do like the taste of popcorn. I just don't enjoy eating it unless. So back in the day, before I went plant-based, I was a sucker for white cheddar popcorn and caramel popcorn. And Nicole, okay, so before my husband and I got married, we were engaged. We went to Chicago and we had some of the famous Garrett's popcorn. And I almost got back on the flight to go back to get some more because nobody told me it was that good. Yeah. So when we had it, it was in 2005. I didn't know Garrett's was this big famous place. And so I could smell it while we were walking and I was like, hey, let's go get some popcorn. And he was like, sure. It was like a little bit of a line, nothing major. Right. But yeah, that popcorn was good. And I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years after that, Oprah did, one of her favorite things shows. And Garrett's was the giveaway. And I was like, yo, I see why they going crazy because that popcorn is good. Yeah.
So prior to, I got a little, I'm in a relationship now, but prior to that, when I first started the online dating again, right? Met a guy, we was dating, we was doing the movie thing because I was a movie buff, he was a movie buff. So that's all we did was go to the movies. But he did not like sharing popcorn. But I didn't know this until I went to get some popcorn.
Oh, and you just kind of reached.
And he moved the tub of popcorn away from me.
It was a tub.
Okay. I feel like that's a subliminal message, right? If you order a tub, I'm assuming it's for the both of us.
I was like, oh, we're here. We're bonding. We're sharing popcorn.
He was like, nah, shawty.
He's like, nah, get your own popcorn. And then to make matters worse, he pulled out a $20 bill and told me to go
get your own. I swear that's something I would do. I would be a bad guy. Like if I was a guy, no woman would ever want to date me because I don't share. You can't double dip. Don't ask me for none of my drink either. That is disgusting. I don't share with my child either. Mommy, can I have some?
I don't share. No. Like once my youngest always wants the tail end of my drink. Like if it's a bottle of water, it doesn't matter what it is, right?
That's so nasty.
And I'm so like, nasty.
It's
you can have it. I don't want it back after you have it.
Like, she wants the tail end. I'm starting to question how much you love your child.
Why?
This is all spit.
I don't backwash. I don't do that.
Yes, you do. Everybody does. You can't even help it.
I don't think I do that.
Are you just kind of hovering the bottle over your mouth or something?
Well, usually, okay, I have this thing with cups and straws. And so
if you drink from a straw, you definitely backwash.
Well, no. I usually will pour this while this is here because I poured it in a glass.
Okay.
And I drink it that way. So
okay, that's different.
But
so she'll ask you for some out of that bottle.
Yes.
Okay. Got you. And okay, so you said the tail end. Yep, that don't work for me. That's the end of it. And my brain is not ready for it to be over yet. I don't know what that is. You know, if there's anybody online that can tell me what that's called, that'd be great. But not that I'm going to change, you know, right. It would be nice to know if there's a name for it. Can I have like the last 25% of anything I'm eating? Doesn't work for me.
You're so funny.
It doesn't work for me. Yeah, I'm great. My husband is a special guy. He deals with all of that.
So what's the whisper for this week, Mika?
Yeah, kind of continuing with the, you know, study to show thyself approved. You know, I like to break it down a little bit. So study, right? Back in the day, study basically was a term for, you know, being diligent, right? So be diligent to show yourself approved. And being diligent basically means to be engaged and present, occupied. Okay. So, you know, all of that just kind of flows in with the idle hands are the devil's workshop and stuff like that. The great thing about that is there's always something to do. Busy and productive are not the same thing. But also you can be still and be productive. So I don't want to confuse anybody because again, you know, I think it makes people uneasy when you tell them not to do anything. They're just like, what do you mean? Right? It's like the earth is standing still. And it's not, but I think for a lot of us, maybe if you are just not theory, social experiment, right? I feel like maybe if you're not where you want to be financially, the idea of not doing anything is scary for you. Okay. Because, you know, for many of us, the keys to getting financial freedom came late in life. Right. Like I was just attending a few webinars and I was like, good God, even 3 years ago, this would have changed my life tremendously. And so, you know, when you learn stuff, it feels like we automatically put ourselves on this kind of countdown, you know? All right, I just learned it and I got 15 years to make it happen. 10 years to make it happen, you know, but just it's a countdown. It's like this just constant countdown. And so being diligent is a really good word for, I would say, if we just consume ourselves with the promises of God, we really can figure out how to be still and trust. And why that is important is because it's all about God's timing anyway, right? When we do things, when we're seeking his kingdom first, he'll restore time for us. So I always said, you know, I should have had my PhD, 10 years, how old am I? 10 years ago, right? That was always a thing for me because I was supposed to be in the, you know, 30 under 30 crew, making these big moves and whatever. And it didn't happen. And my master's degree didn't happen when I thought, like, none of them did. None of them did. I got my bachelor's degree at 27 and a half years old. Big womp, right? So in my head, I was just like, yeah, okay. And the countdown. So if I could do this and, you know, boom, 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 right? Like bang it out, I can still be in, you know, the top 35 under 35. Why under 40 is so important? I don't know. I don't really know. I think there's somewhere along the line I absorbed that and adopted that way of thinking, that if I can do this, under the age of 40, then I must be this amazing human being. I don't know where that came from, but as I pray, for wisdom and things like that, and just for comfort, because the constant busyness will wear you out. It's not fun. You have burnout. You no longer enjoy the things that you were doing. You become irritable. Life is just this bland routine that I don't believe whatsoever I was put on this planet to do, right? That seems very robotic, and there's no enjoying. So being diligent, right, is to be engaged, to be consistent, to be occupied. So choose wisely what you're diligent in.
Yes.
You're on mute.
Like
there
that.
you go.
I like that. Choose wisely. Okay, so
the whisper is to choose wisely what we're diligent in.
So I need people to think about this over the next week and come back and share like what you chose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think this is good. This is good stuff, Mika. Where can people contact you?
www.meetmikafresh.com. Excuse me, MEETMIKA fresh.
What's the and then any upcoming events? What's going on?
Well, I'm still not ready to release some things, but so I'm house hunting. On a personal note, I'm house hunting.
Okay.
I'm ready to put my house on the market. That is something I didn't think I would have anxiety about. So that's the thing. Professionally, I have 2 projects in the making. One of them you're working with me on, right? Where's My Black Mama Told Me?
Yeah.
And the second series of Papaya is in the works.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. The pandemic really threw all that off, right?
Right.
The premise of the book is a young girl that explores the world. The world shut down. I was like, what's she gonna do now? So I just kind of left it alone until things spoke to me. I didn't want to push out something for the sake of pushing out something, because gotcha. the storyline, the character, the whole reason why is really close to my heart. So I needed to make sure everything was right. And I feel some nudges. So that's it. That's all that's coming down the pipeline.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mika. I know you have to go tonight,
yes.
But we will see you next week.
Okay, I'll hang on for a few minutes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So let me introduce to you to some, never mind. I'm not going to even do that because I keep messing it up. I tried to do it last week and it didn't
Present
work.
To some, introduce to others.
Yes, present to some, introduce to others. Nicole Muhammad. She's a married mom of 2 adult children, a licensed clinical social worker, author, speaker, certified overflow life coach, yoga teacher, and certified sexologist. What we talking about? She has over 25 years of experience in justice and educational systems, community outreach and intervention, individual and couples counseling and coaching. And she brings a broad range of experience and all about creating paradigm shifts and supporting other people to experience the best version of themselves. Miss Nicole Muhammad, welcome to the show. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So before we get into the topic of the blessing and raw authenticity, which I love that topic that you picked, tell us a little bit about yourself in your own words.
Well, I really am a multi-passionate woman. And I think that is because of the broad range of experience I've had in those systems that I talked about. I took time to be diligent in making sure that I really understood the clients, students, people that I came across. So it allowed me to kind of get involved in a lot of different things that kind of all work for the common good of just trying to help people get to their highest level. So that's all I've been dedicated to, is just, working with marginalized communities, uplifting, leaders, working in education and in the justice system. And it just seems like there's sometimes just the same patterns, and thank God I'm just kind of prepared for them because of the things that, I've done in my lifetime. So, yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And so what was the purpose of like, why did you want to talk about being authentic?
Well, what I submitted was, the blessing in raw authenticity, right? A lot of people feel like transparency is trouble, right? Because when you're transparent, people kind of may use things against you, or they may choose to back off. I just want to say those are not your people. However, it's a blessing being authentic, because then the guesswork out of how to handle you and what you want and what you're going for is very clear, because your representative is not at the table you are. What I found just in everything that I've done is when I'm at the table with people.
That was a word. Sorry. I was on mute. Now I couldn't come off of mute fast enough.
I was like, and look, I'm trying to post, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, yes, repeat that. We got to rewind.
Yeah. Let me give a quick example, right?
Wait, say it again and then give your example. The table.
Okay. So people can be at the table, right? And if you're dealing with their representative, you're not really dealing with them. Hence, the problems come after that, because you're dealing with who people want to present themselves as, possibly, whether that is to keep a relationship, a job, an opportunity, or whatever. But unfortunately, for some, it may be a relief for others. The pus does come out the pimple. And so it's just, I know, and I can imagine, Mika, how you feel, especially with the last part of the drink, but, but it is just very real. And so being authentic kind of helps to free you. I know that many people have to go through many things in life in order to even really understand who they are, because to a certain degree, you have to become something sometimes in order to fulfill a position, a role, an opportunity. And sometimes you can get lost in who you have to become in order to do it versus who you may be at the core. And sometimes those things can get skewed because one may feel better than the other. And sometimes you may feel like, if I present my very raw self, I may not be allowed to be at this table. Right. So, I mean, it's clear that you're not supposed to, that you have to have discretion on how much you disclose in specific environments, but specifically in your closest relationships, and in your efforts to live your best life. Authenticity is just the best, and the raw authenticity is even better.
I think that's so important. What do you say to people that are like showing up in your full self? How are you able to still be? We run into this problem of, especially with Black people, feeling like they have to be twice as better, right? They have to work twice as hard, right? And so then there's this level of expectation to be, I don't even know if the word is professional, but like, because a lot of times our authentic self is often met with, that's not professional, or that's not how it's supposed to be. And so how do we counterbalance that? And I have been, and full disclosure, I have been in a situation recently where I felt like an authentic moment for someone, when I first looked at it, was not a full great representation of the person. And I had to figure out, like, why am I coming from that perspective? Like, where is this coming from? Where is this rooted in? And I had to take a step back, and I'm like, well, who's defining professionalism? Who's defining, right? Right? Who's defining, right? And that's one of the reasons why I own, like, every, like, little mistake that happens on this show. Like, when even at the beginning, something so small, like even at the beginning of the show, when the music played twice, right? I own that. I acknowledge that. Like, that's part of who I am. And somebody might look at that, or like, this show is not clean. It's not done right. It's not professional, or you shouldn't say that. So how do we get past, all that?
I really do think that people have to make a decision about each situation. Like, the beautiful part about this being your show is that you can own whatever hell you want to own.
I know that's right.
Right. And it is yours. And if they don't like it, they can go to another show. Right. Now, of course, you want to keep everybody, but sometimes it's better to have the quality of watchers, and them being your people, understanding that, that one mistake, like you said, is not your entire professionalism kit. But I'm going to say this, that I do get it, that because of the struggles that Black people have had around the way you should act, how you should look, what you should do, that it's something that is going to occur. My thing is that it is important that if you understand that, you understand the sacrifice that you are doing to your mental, physical, and spiritual being.
Yeah.
Right. And that there will be a price to pay for that, whether it be through your health, physically, your mental health, your spiritual journey. Somewhere you will have to pause and answer to all of this energy you're giving to this individual who has to show up and be a certain way. Hence why most people may say, I started my own, show, or I opened my own business, or I decided to go another route, or I just had to quit my job, or I had to leave that relationship, because sometimes that energy is so, it consumes you, that people get lost. And so you're not upset about what you think it is. You really are upset because you're in conflict with this representative who was sitting here handling and dealing with things that just really are not true to who you really are. Which means that when you know that you have a representative at work, or if you know that you're not being your authentic self in a relationship, that you have to pause and take responsibility for the outcome. It is not the job's fault. It is not your mate's fault. You have presented something that was really not in alignment with who you really are at the core, and just know in advance that there's a consequence for that. How long you want to deal with that, how long you want to sacrifice, that is entirely up to you. But that's why it's important for everyone to have a level of self-awareness, and to also take responsibility for what you allow, what you created, because it really will take a lot of the blame and burden of trying to find something wrong when in truth, really, you set yourself up for this.
Hello.
Boundaries.
And then Mika, you said boundaries.
I love talking to other therapists.
Yeah. And I think that's so important because, you know, for a long time in my former marriage, I wanted to be the cool girlfriend, cool wife. Right?
What did that mean for you?
Oh, you know, like I'm not, okay, I'll give you a prime example. Like I have stories, child. I have stories, right? So, we shacked up prior to marriage, right? And when we first moved in together, ex-girlfriend, but still they were still on good terms. They were really great friends. Called, and this is going back a long time, child, because we had a house phone, right?
With the cord.
With the cord, yes, plugged into the wall. And the ex-girlfriend called and asked to speak to him, and I said he was not there. And she said, does he have his own line?
His own fishing line, his
own phone
line of credit, his own.
And I
that's a new one.
Yeah. Listen, and I knew that I should have said something, right? And not necessarily to her, but the fact that she thought it was okay to ask me that question, right? Because I'm going back to like, so I just said I relayed the message, and there was an expectation for me to see what he was going to say about it. He said nothing, right? And so over the course of 17 years, my silence became
resentment.
Oh, he's playing me, right? In my mind, right? Like this dude is really playing me, right? He's like really playing, he's testing my patience. So it grew into resentment, and then it just grew into, and then when Shani finally showed up 12 years later, right? I didn't think that I had changed, but now this is somebody new. So now it's so what I didn't get, oh, I understand. I got, why you changing? You're not the same person. But I had always been the same person. I just never said anything.
Absolutely.
Right? So I had to own that.
Yeah.
I had to own that. Yeah. And then not only did I have to own it, I had to go deep within self to find out why I didn't want to say something. What was I afraid of? Because it was coming from fear. We was talking about fear last week, but it was a place of fear. And then I had to go deeper. I never even realized that I got abandonment issues.
Okay.
Yeah. It's that's deep, and a part of that is why you were on that self-study. It wasn't even any room or time for you to have any issues with him about that. I mean, you may have at some point, but when you are that involved in your self-reflection, the other person's part in it doesn't even matter.
It didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. And a part of this is why I wrote the book that why I helped to co-author one book, which was Soul Talk Volume 3, with 21 beautiful authors. But then I wrote my own book, Green Panties, Ulcers, and Corns.
Say it again. Say it again.
Say that again.
Green Panties, Ulcers, and Corns.
Please tell us the story.
That sounds like something I would pick up too. I would be like, what in the world? This coming home with me.
Child, we gonna speak that into existence. That's about to be a movie, honey. Like Green Panties. Please tell me.
So it's really about what I just talked about. It's about commitment, you know, sacrifice and taking responsibility for servant leadership, right? And you just handle stuff, you know, and you show up and you become who you have to become in order to either do your job or in your relationship or whatever. But like I said, there's the sacrifice of your mind, your body, and your soul. And so the green panties represents, I do have a favorite pair of green panties, still own them, had them since my freshman year of college. And I went to go put them on one day, and they didn't just flap down, they rolled down like a pair of, I said, Carol Burnett knee highs. But, and I wasn't even upset about the, what I should have been upset about, which was the weight. I was upset about because these panties were on rotation at least twice a month. So when I went to wear them, it was an intentional wear. It's just some pair of panties I grabbed. So a part of that was the weight that I gained, that I did not pay attention to the stress, not eating right, not working out, not taking time to check in with me. Just kind of, again, showing up to take care of everybody else. And a friend of mine said this, quote to me, she said, if you're taking care of me and I'm taking care of me, then who's taking care of you?
Mm-hmm.
So, and because you handling it and you got the face and the look and you doing it, really, why should anybody pause? You're not pausing to take care of yourself. And then the ulcer, that was just an example of things that started to go wrong. I had an ulcer. I kind of had a couple of other things that kind of happened with my body, and that was about the stress and to a certain degree vicarious trauma and triggers that happened throughout my career. And just the corns is really a vain thing, but it was real, that I felt like I had the prettiest feet on the planet Earth. And I looked up and I had 2 corns on them just from doing all the stuff that I was doing on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So it was just really about how I sacrificed my mind, my body, and my soul to just handle it and show up and become what I needed to become in order to do the things that I did, and just constantly taking and not really stopping and pausing. And so that's what the book is about, exactly what we're talking about. And so what, in the book, I talked about what COVID came to teach me, because I did get COVID back in March. And it was crazy because I thought, just like everybody else, this is something that's going to happen, go away, and we're going to be right back at it. That was over 15 years of me ripping and running and serving and handling things. And of course, being a parent and being married and so forth and so on. And so to have to come to a screeching halt, which took longer than I expected. I didn't get my taste and smell back until the end of November.
Wow.
I had a few other symptoms, and I only have one that is still lingering. When you talk about, people talking about lingering residual from COVID, but what it did do was teach me to stop, slow down, reevaluate, because on one end you can say that you think you're in alignment with how you want your life to be. So you think you're in alignment with being the best mother that you could be, right? Mm-hmm. But then you come home, you have just a little bit of time for your children and your husband, but you've given 8, 12, 10, 15 hours to the world. Mm-hmm. And when you get home, you asking them to give you a moment so you can get yourself together. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You are half A-ing it, with your attention, because you're still handling phone calls and text messages and emails, even once you're off the clock.
I feel triggered, Nicole. I feel triggered. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I really, I'm gonna penetrate your soul.
I feel like I need to take a whole day and be like, yes.
I just put in for some PTO. I was like, listen, somebody need to cover me, because we ain't about to do 2021 the way 2020 went.
Aisha, pause that real quick. Aisha says, me too. She said, yes. She said, abandonment issues can show up unconsciously in so many areas of your life. She said, absolutely. Thank you, Shakira, for watching. She said she had to watch the replay. Thank you, TT, for watching. Thanks, Brian, for watching. Carrie is watching. Eric is watching. So thank you, everybody, for watching. If you have a question or comment, drop it in the comment section. And we'll get to you. Yeah, this has been, I feel definitely you asking the people in your house to give you that was powerful, because it just really puts in perspective like priorities, right?
Yeah. Like and the thing is that everybody knows, because you go to work and you do, most people go to work and do all of this sacrificing for a better life for their family, to pay for education. So, your whole intention is to do what you need to do so that your family can enjoy, live, so forth and so on, but you aren't unfortunately present sometimes.
True. And so where can people get this book, Green Panties, Ulcers and Corns?
So that you can get it from my website, NicoleMuhammad.com, and that's N-E as an elephant, C-O-L-E, Muhammad, Muhammad.com. But it is everywhere that books are sold as well. So, but yeah, come visit my website.
So let's talk about the other thing in your bio. A sexologist. Like what's that about?
So, so to be frank, just a lot of the experiences in my life, and then the things that I've come across in my profession, I really felt like I really needed to understand what people call the biopsychosocial underpinnings of individuals. And human sexuality is very deep and it's interwoven in everything that we do. Everything. And so, and across the lifespan, it is so important because so many different things happen to people around sexuality, sexual experiences, the view that you come from, the perception, the fact that there are so many people that are married that are not engaging in intimacy, the fact that so many people, as when they're younger, are unfortunately involuntarily, no permission, touched and violated. And all of those things in one way, shape, or fashion come into play with who you become. So just understanding at a core level who I am, who women and men are before me, how these things impact their lives. Why is it an interruption? When I was a principal, why I got people underneath the, why are you underneath the stage, right? This is more important in your academics, right? Just understanding each milestone, each phase. And the crazy part is that we strive really hard to understand everything else except for that part. That part is the part that people feel uncomfortable about. That part is the part why sometimes marriages break up. That part is the part why sometimes parents may not believe their children. That part is the part about why some cases don't get prosecuted because of improper knowledge and behaviors around cases. It's so many things that fall underneath that. So I was just like, I just want to know. I want to know. And so I needed to get some level of training, and I did. And so that's why it's there. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. You're like so different. There's so many pieces of you. I think it's just and then we go into yoga, and then we go, but I feel like they're all connected in some way.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you see that. I'm so glad you see that. That's that is so important to me. It really is, because it took me a long time, because once you get to a certain point in your life, you're like, okay, then you can say that those are not my people, because they really don't get me, right? But to be understood and seen that I'm not coming on your show talking about some, I fix helicopters and then I'm gonna be an astronaut tomorrow, and then I sew, and then then I go and I work on the oil lines. No, that's not my story, right? The yoga is for healing and for centering and for alignment and understanding and all of that. So yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So are you teaching any classes or anything now, even though it's COVID? Like, or have you gone online with the yoga teaching?
So I've been asked to teach for specific organizations. Like I just did some yoga type of stuff for an elementary school. I just did something for my sorority. I'm doing something in an upcoming weeks for another group. So before COVID, I was teaching, and just right after COVID hit, I was teaching at 360 Mind, Body, Soul here in Chicago. I was trained under Core Power. But now that things are kind of opening back up, my husband and I have a fighting trim boxing academy, and so I'm going to add some yoga into his because that's what he does. He teaches boxing, but he's a probation officer by day. So yeah, so that's how I'm doing it now. That's how I'm doing it now. But before I was teaching every week.
Awesome. We are live with Nicole Muhammad. If you have a question, drop it in the comment section on Facebook Live. Anita Brooks Bishop says, thank you for sharing. Eric Holmes says, this is powerful information. Mika, you're still here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was just a little too good, you know?
It was too good. You have a question? Okay.
Not right now.
I thought somebody, no, they were just hearting it. I thought somebody had a question. So what was your chapter about in the book? Not your book, but the book you said you were co-author in. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Right. So here is the book was about self-preservation for servant leaders. And it was really my pinky toe tip in the water. Like, I had green panties, ulcers, and corns in my head since I had left being an administrator in 2018, really a little bit before that. And so I said, well, I didn't understand all the components of writing a book. So Cheryl Pilot Williamson was doing a part of her anthology, and I had known Cheryl for a while, and she had been so awesome and great and beautiful that I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump on with Cheryl. And so then I said, okay, well, I'm just going to use this piece in order to go ahead and do what my real baby that I haven't really cooking for a while. So that is, and it's really about the same thing. It's just really about taking care of yourself, being responsible, being very authentic with who you are. And it's okay sometimes to have those conversations before you can take that step. Right. But as long as you are clear with who you are and what you want, and very clear about how you come across, then, so many things could change. So many things could change.
Mm-hmm. So the blessing, so we're about to wrap up. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
I thank you.
The blessing of raw authenticity in 25 words or less. How do we get to the blessing? I know that's probably a daunting task to give it in 25 words, or you can give it in 6 minutes. However you want to do it.
I don't need to take the 6 minutes. The blessing is really being okay with being yourself, flaws and all. Right? No one is perfect. This is not what this is about. And if you get a chance to have a healthy relationship with yourself, and you understand why it is that you need to do what you need to do, sometimes you can also find your way out of it so that you don't have to carry that extra step or burden or whatever it is, or you can continue to do it because maybe it's a means to an end. But as long as you are clear, then the blessing is that you are never fooled by your own actions. Mm-hmm. You're never ever taken aback by something that's happening because you're clear about how you showed up. So you could just about forecast the outcome if you really are honest with yourself. And so the blessing is clarity. The blessing is you, me, myself, and I. The blessing is understanding myself, and the blessing is understanding, what actually is going to come my way. So that's it. I think that that's just so healthy and necessary. Me and my husband are about to celebrate 25 years, March 2nd, of our of being together, and we've you show up initially. I think I talked about this the other day on Facebook Live. You show up initially, I think, with 4 people in your marriage. It just takes some time for some people. It takes some time to get to 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching your I saw day 9 to 25 years of marriage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
You've been doing like day 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, so some of it is pictures, and we've only done 2 lives. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I want to be married for 25 years.
Well, it's a marathon.
I just want to be asked to get married because y'all laughing. Mika put her hand down because I've already shared the fact that I've been married twice, but ain't been proposed to not one time. and because my representative was real stupid.
Well, that's okay. It's 2 things I'm going to say about that, right? The idea of marriage is different actually from the actual thing, right? And then
ain't it though?
Oh, come on. Right. And then the other thing is, you live, you love, you date, you eat, and you do everything else on your level of consciousness at the time.
I love it.
It's all good. So I was at your first wedding and second one.
Yeah. Awesome. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Please share. I put your website, NicoleMuhammad.com. It's in the chat.
Yes,
go check her out, see what she's doing, order her books. You better get that book before it becomes a movie, or you're gonna sit there and say, I heard about this book before on something.
Yes.
Something. Right. So
how do we get a signed copy? I like signed copies.
Oh, the bonus is that if you order from my website, not only do you get a signed copy, but you get a surprise with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be there.
It's a surprise. Yeah. Go to meetmikafresh.com where you can find out more information about her. And we've already shared this because you shared it last week. But do I need to hold you accountable for when your podcast is coming out or what?
No. You don't. I am really strong on feelings, right? Like the urge, I don't want to do things just to do things. And I feel like right now I don't have enough of me to pay different things attention. So I'm not doing it just yet. If it makes you feel any better though, Shani.
Like you're trying to be perfect.
No, I'm not at all. But what good is it to drop one episode and then I can't do another one until 10 weeks away?
Why are we saying can't? Why is can't?
Because I know I can't. Not right now. not as in like ability. I'm talking about capacity.
She like a
we can go and spend 9 hours and record 6 episodes, and that could be your first season.
Who's editing this?
I have an editor.
Okay.
Look at that.
Okay.
Okay. That's real. 86,000. That's real. 86,400 seconds out of a day. Conversation.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk offline.
All right. I got this idea for you. I feel like you should do Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram Live. You should go on Instagram Live. You bring on because I feel like for some reason, I don't know if it's because y'all both named Tamika, even though she spells her name different. But every time Tamika Mallory goes on
no, our name is spelled the same way.
Tamika Mallory spells it with an I?
Yeah, she does.
Okay, well maybe that's why. Because
I like her.
I love her. And every time she goes live, I'll be like, Meet Mika Fresh could go live. I don't know. And y'all talk about 2 different things.
Yeah.
I see you going live and waiting for your guests to bring them into the live, and y'all talk about health and wellness.
Okay.
And Black people mental.
Okay.
Black people need therapy, and they need it on Instagram.
Yeah, and they need therapists that look like them.
On Instagram. Have you seen Instagram? No, I'm just kidding.
I have seen Instagram. I have.
And I'd be like they need Jesus and therapy, but they need therapy. A lot.
Okay. I hear you. I am receiving it. And maybe that is what, could be happening right now. Instead of worrying about editing, right?
Here's the thing that I'm saying. If you go live, you don't have to edit anything. This is why I go live. If this was not a live show, we would not have a show.
Yeah.
For the very same reason. Who's going to edit it? Who's going to make it look good? I could go back there. I'm going to critique myself over and over. Last week, people thought I was drunk because I was so excited.
That was funny too. That was so funny. Somebody said, have you been drinking? Drinking positive vibes. Yes.
Positive vibes. But I will say this. Because I know that once you do it, like it's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I hear you, Shani.
Thank you, both of you. I love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. You are wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks for Donald. Thanks for watching. Thanks. People in the chat are co-signing that you need to start your show.
Okay.
I want you to know that.
All right.
This is the Sharing with Shani show, highlighting ordinary people working for extraordinary God, sharing love, light, and life. We'll be back next Monday with Charmaine Castillo. Peace.
Peace.